Hi everybody, my name is Jason and I'm the Global Business Representative for LORRIC, and today we're going to talk to you about the AxleSense paddle wheels design. So now we're going to look at the AxleSense paddle wheels packaging. Now this is quite ingenious here. We take a look at the packaging, you clearly see the LORRIC logo. On the top we have the device itself, and on the side we have the AxleSense paddle wheel. I'm very excited about this because this packaging was designed with minimalism in mind. So we take a look at the back here. As you see, it's made with the soy ink. That is what's printed, which is a very sustainable ink. And when I talk about the minimalism for the packaging, that means it's also very eco-friendly. There's nothing wasted here. No room wasted. Let's open this up. We see we have the wiring, we have our warning label, we have our installation guide, and then finally we have the device itself. And we take a look in here, this is so small, and that's because we want to make sure that we're saving as much space as possible, especially when we're shipping, because not only do we want to save the environment, but we also want to save our customers money. Now we're going to talk about the device itself. The device comes in three parts. We have the electronics part of the device, which I'll just call the unit for now. We have the T-connector, and we have the paddle wheel. First thing we're going to take a look at today is the unit. So with the unit, we have the casing here. As you see, it has full integration of the casing with the screen. Now this is very important. For an industrial environment, if any type of leak could cause corrosion to the wiring, and that could lead to ultimate failure of the device. So it's very important that we have this seamless transition between the casing and the screen itself. Now when you look at this device, it's very compact, it's small, and it has a very ergonomic use because we have the 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. And that keeps things very simple. Next we're going to take a look at our T-connector. As you see, the T-connector here has a very smooth finish. That's because we machine everything with this T-connector. Let me see if I can unscrew this part here. When you look inside this T-connector, you can see that there is no warping on the walls. Everything is very smooth. There's no divots, there's no pivots. And as I said before, that's because we machine all of these parts. Our competition will often use what we call injection molding, and this injection molding can lead to these little warps and divots, which can cause turbulence in your flow. So we try to make sure that everything is smooth. The other thing that injection molding can cause is shrinkage. Now that shrinkage can cause leakage when installed in the pipes. So the next thing we're going to look at is our paddle wheel itself. Our paddle wheel is very simple in its design. It has a magnet on either side of the axle, and we try to keep our welding lines to a minimum in order to avoid any type of corrosion to the actual magnets itself. And you see here we have the actual axle, which is a ceramic axle. Now that fits perfectly into our device, into the unit here. Just slides right on. You screw that in, and then you don't really have to worry about anything else. So now we're going to talk about the user interface. Now when we were designing the user interface for the AxleSense paddle wheel, we really had to consider our customer feedback. And our customers were really wanting something with higher clarity and higher visibility, especially in dark areas. So we listened to their feedback and we created this dual screen device. On the top you have the LED, which normally is for the totalizer, just showing numbers and simple error messages. And then at the bottom, we have our LCD screen. And the LCD screen can show 3 different colors. It will have the green, which shows that everything's going well. It will have the orange as just a regular setup screen. And then it will have the red to show your errors. Now, one of the critical things about this, of having the LCD screen in the device, is that it allows us to show also foreign languages to make it easier to set up in the international community. So as we take a look, I want to point out the LED screen again here. In a dark environment, this LED screen will show the totalizer with great clarity, even at a long distance. And as you see here, the visibility, you'll have high visibility of the LCD screen and what color it is showing. So if you're far away and it's in a dark environment, you'll be able to see, oh, there's an error going on, or oh, everything's working just as it should. So next we're going to talk about the user interface's indicator lights. The first one I'm going to talk to you about here is our green light. Now this green light just shows that everything's working okay. As you see here, the totalizer is running, everything is going well, and it is set to, it's within the parameters that the user has set. Let's now look at the second indicator light. For the second indicator light, this is going to be our red light, also known as our error sign. So what happens is, say, when the paddle wheel goes missing, this will show you that there is an error occurring. And we build this for high visibility, especially in the dark spaces or even at a long distance. So I'm going to take off the paddle wheel now. As you see here, we have the red error light. Alright, so now lastly we're going to take a look at the setup light. This is going to be an orange indicator light on the LCD screen. So when I go into here and I go into the setup and say I want to change one of the parameters here, you can see that it has the orange screen. And that makes it very easy, especially when you are doing your operations, just to make sure that you haven't left it in the setup screen when you're trying to run the device. At LORRIC, we're not just about the hardware. We also consider the software a lot when we're developing our products, and we listen to the customer feedback. And we listen to the customer feedback for the first generation of the AxleSense paddle wheel, and we have developed our software version 2.0. And with that, we've created this great new feature. Because one of the problems with the you may have with an LED light or LED screen is when you're in a very bright environment, you can't really see the numbers clearly. So that if there's a lot of sunlight or just bright lights in general, you can move the totalizer screen to the bottom to the LCD screen. And it's very easy to do. We just click through the right to total, and now you can see the totalizer at the bottom.